Yeah, so this is Fort King George, located in Scarborough, capital of Tobago. You see cannons here, cannons from back in the war, from 1700s. They said that Tobago changed hands 33 times before becoming independent or under the ward of Trinidad. It's one country right now, Trinidad and Tobago. Fort King George was one of those areas of defense to defend the port, to defend the island. We have five forts in Tobago, but really it's like 7. Most of them can still be seen, and a couple of them were destroyed. We have forts both on the south side of the island and the north side. The forts we have in Tobago are Fort Milford in Crown Point, Fort Bennett in Blackrock, Fort James in Plymouth, Fort King George, which is where we are, Scarborough, and French Fort, that is further close to Scarborough but further in Cutler Hall area. We also have a fort in Betsy Soap that is on the south eastern side, and we have Fort Campbellton. Fort Campbellton is in Charlottesville, Tobago. Tobago used to produce commercially. I saw this lighthouse. They recently did some work on it. Wow, hear the birds. Tobago used to produce sugarcane, cocoa, which is for chocolate, coffee, copra. Copra is something they use for coconut husk, essentially. So we don't produce it as back then now, but back then it was a big supplier of those products all over the world. So we actually have this highest grade cocoa still in the world. Yes, I'm walking down the fort now, from the top a little further down. Down here have a bell tank. The bell tank is there, holds 33,000 gallons of water. Still has water in it. We don't use it, but it's still here. And this is from, you see if I see a year in it. It has been at least, it was built in 1799. 1799. Yeah, so it has some age, still strong. Down here is the Fine Arts Center. Hopefully they'll open this back. I mean, it's a big building and it's not being used, so my hope is that they will open back this Tobago Fine Arts Center, because we have a lot of skilled persons in Tobago and we have good art. One thing I didn't mention up on the upper level is that there are 2 museums. One museum is the General Museum, which has stuff from all over Tobago, including architectural stuff, paintings, history. They have a wide variety of stuff in one. And the other museum is Iconic Museum, which hosts Mighty Shadow and and Calypso Rose. So when you go into those museums, you get to get a glimpse of history and how things used to be. In the Iconic Museum, you get to see stuff that they used to wear, like Mighty Shadow used to wear, their accomplishments over the years. stuff from Calypso Rose, the different titles they won, educational, the education, life, basically how they became popular. Yeah, so this is down here is the Port of Scarborough, where the cruise ship come in, capital of Tobago. This is Cannons down there, that building down there, what they call a powder magazine. It's actually where they used to keep gunpowder and guns as well. This big tree, it's a salmon tree. But a salmon tree, very old trees. This is probably at least 300 years old. The cannons when back in the days, so basically to use the cannon, there was a oven they would use most of the time to heat up the shots. And the reason why they heat up the cannon balls was because the balls were the hot cannon ball was red hot. They heat it to red hot. Were more effective. They found them to be more effective against the wooden ships back then. And so they would heat. They had ovens where they used to heat up the cannonballs, and then they had cups with handles that they used to bring the cannonballs from the oven to load it into the cannon. So they use also there were also sometimes ladies at the fort that would help bring the cannonballs to the cannon. And interestingly enough, these ladies were called hot shot ladies, and usually they use a cup with 3 handles on it, and the 3 handles would be that way more than one lady could carry the cannonball because they were heavy and hot. So to use the cannon, usually they would push the gunpowder in a package. So there was a sack with gunpowder. So they're ramming everything down inside the cannon, right? So they push the sack down inside with the gunpowder. Then if it's a hot shot, they put in wet hay inside, and then they put in the cannonball. And the reason why they use the wet hay is so that the hot cannonball wouldn't pre-ignite the shot. So when they're ready to actually use the shot, they ignite it through this hole here. So yeah, so that was it. Fort King George, Tobago. Look at that view. Yes. So that's the history of Fort King George. Visit and enjoy Tobago. Keep it clean and serene. And bring your friends and your family. All right.